Hey there, Cubby and Christine from the morning show on Light FM. You're checking out the Holiday Light special. It's officially Christmas. And Christine, our old buddy's here. When I say old, not like as an age. He's been around our studios several times and he's back.
Old, like one of our very favorite guests, right? And we
Right.
have missed him so much. I'm so happy you're here. Hi, Josh Groban.
Hello, everybody. So nice to see you all again. Is that you, Cubby? Oh, Cubby, I could pinch your cheeks.
Josh, it's really good
Great
to
to
see
be.
you.
It's
We have a
great to
lot
see you too.
we have a lot to talk about. We have a lot to get to, and welcome to the holidays. It's officially here. And I
Yes,
just have to
finally.
ask, before we get to the feel good stuff, how have you
Yeah.
been spending these last few months, all cooped up?
Yeah.
Have you been in the same room since March?
Pretty much, yeah. I mean, it's we you know what it's like when you're in entertainment. You're putting on a jacket and tie on your top half, and you're in a snuggie on your bottom half, and it's just you're just doing the best you can to stay sane and check in on your friends and family and try to
Mhm.
be careful as often as you can without making yourself crazy. It's a drip, 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 and I think that we all need to kind of be cognizant of our mental health and be kind to ourselves right now because it's not easy for anybody.
Absolutely. What are you doing to keep your spirits up, to keep through this?
Well, I'm very lucky. I mean, I'm very lucky that music is therapy, to me, I have a place to express myself. And so I don't take that for granted at all. It's very, very lucky that I get to sit at a piano and that helps me feel better. I've been cooking a little bit. I was a tour bus takeout person my entire life. I'm so used to, rolling into a hotel room at midnight and just getting whatever's on the late night menu. And I never really appreciated before how much cooking is like music. All the ingredients, you don't know what they're going to turn into. You add a little heat, you do a little of this, a little bit of that, add a little technique, and you got something you never expected. So, I'm such a pleaser. And so for me, music is all about kind of giving back. And for me, making food and serving food has kind of given me that when I haven't been able to make as much music as I would like.
Well, speaking
Yeah,
of
this is
food,
like why Rachel Ray has been my new hero lately, because
Yeah.
the same with me. I hadn't been cooking a lot, and now I'm
Yeah.
into. Did you find a dish that you're really great at cooking?
I have found that I'm just kind of mooching off the Instagram pages of these great chefs that are now kind of giving these 15-minute tutorials who would never in the past be doing this. So I'm watching Thomas Keller make a very simple, salmon and spinach, and I'm like, I can do that. Nonstick pan, easy. Ina Garten has been my go-to. I mean, she is just absolutely incredible, and she puts booze in everything, which has been fantastic for me. And and Alice Waters has an amazing masterclass. If you haven't watched the master classes, I would recommend splurging on them. They're great. There's so much to learn, and so I don't know. I think I'm trying to keep it simple, but at some point I want to learn what herbs do. For instance, I couldn't tell you how to put thyme or rosemary into a dish. That's above my level so far.
I have about one more. All right, one more food question. Since it is
Yeah.
officially Christmas time now, is there one holiday themed meal or cake or something you kind of like?
Mm. My mom makes this incredible breakfast, like Christmas morning brunch egg dish that is just, I can't even describe it. It's rich. You know how when you get like the omelet at a sushi restaurant, that sweet omelet egg. It's got that kind of sweetness to it, but it's got corn and pepper and cheddar cheese, and it's like a egg casserole dish that I don't know. Ever since we were like 5 years old, like running down on Christmas morning. Yeah, the presents were okay, but smelling that dish was like the bomb.
That's
So
awesome.
is that a favorite holiday tradition then, to be with the family, do breakfast?
It is. It is. We're now, I think, as a lot of families are, we're trying to figure out how best to be with each other and whether it's safe, how we can safely do it, how we all get tested at the right time. It's a stress that I think, is the last thing anybody wants to deal with, especially during a year that has been so much about isolation. I'm used to isolation. As a solo artist, I'm always in a hotel room. I'm always traveling. I'm always in a vocal booth. And so for me, the holidays are sometimes the only time we all get to be together. My brothers, in New York, I'm in New York sometimes, I'm in LA sometimes, I'm in, Germany, whatever I need to be. So this year, we're all feeling the same thing, which is how do we do it? How do we connect? If we can't be there in person, how do we find a new tradition that makes us feel connected and makes us feel, like we're there for each other? It's the hardest part of this whole thing.
When you think Christmas in New York, what's the first thing you think about?
Well, growing up as an LA kid and just having no seasons here, it's just kind of infuriatingly 72 degrees all day, every day. I think when I first moved to New York and experienced kind of the cold in the air and how everybody's bundling up and everybody's out, the amazing thing about New York is that everybody goes out no matter what the weather. It's a community. It's also what makes COVID so hard in a city like New York, because the very thing that I love most about New York is being in a cramped train and sitting in the park and meeting a stranger. And, New Yorkers have that. LA is a little bit more siloed. So I like the smells. I like that the cold air just brings out all the smells of, the trees you smell food coming out of the restaurants. You smell, rat poop and the under your shoes, all of it.
Nothing says beauty like rat poop.
Listen, when I was living in LA, growing up at my parents' house, for whatever reason, like all the lawns would be fertilized around this time of year, and so they say the sense of smell is the most emotional sense, and fertilizer, cow dung smell to me always represents like Santa's coming, because it was always right at that time of year, and even though it's a horrible smell, it's a feel good smell for me for some reason. Yeah.
It's Santa's reindeer.
It's, I never put that together, but
there you go.
Yeah, it's Santa's reindeer have been fed a lot of carrots in the last few weeks.
That's right.
And
how about favorite Christmas gifts? Something you got as a child or something recently?
Okay, so absolutely, there's one that stands out more than any. We always had pretty modest Christmases, but I basically wrote a letter to Santa about getting a drum set in the same poetic fervor that the kid from A Christmas Story wrote about his BB gun that he wanted. And I wrote about how every aspect of it was here's what this tom does and this cymbal will do, and how I'll practice every day, and one day I'll be in a band, and and so it was like 3 pages, single spaced, and I got a drum set, and it's funny, but having an instrument to play every day, it really did mean a lot to me. And to be able to have something, because I'd already kind of dabbled on the piano, but the drums for me were therapy. Like sitting at a drum set after a hard day of school and just jamming to my favorite albums, it made everything else okay. I was able to do homework better. It made me relax when I was overly anxious. So I don't know, that was an amazing Christmas present. And it's one of the reasons why I have an arts education foundation now, is because I was very privileged to be able to get that present. And a lot of kids out there aren't as lucky. And as these programs are getting cut every single day, I want everybody, every young student out there who needs an instrument or a paintbrush or a dance lesson to be able to have the same therapy from music that I was able to get.
Well, it definitely worked out getting that drum set, because let's see, you have a new single out right now called Celebrate Me Home. And I believe in about a week, today's the 13th. So yeah, the 20th, Harmony comes out, your brand new album. Now, although
That's right.
This is not a Christmas album though, right?
It's not a Christmas album. It's an album that was kind of made in 2 parts. I knew I wanted to do a classic songs album. I knew there were songs that I loved for a long time, that my fans had been requesting for a long time. I had just put out previously a very personal album that was a lot of co-writes. And I wanted, I keep wanting to switch back and forth between the more personal songs and the songs that I find personal stories in that have been around a long time, that I just like to put on the singer hat and interpret. And then quarantine happened, and all of a sudden we started finding songs that were classic but relevant to how we were all feeling right now. And then totally unexpectedly, a couple of original songs popped in there as well that I did not expect to have happen. So Celebrate Me Home is a song that I guess could be considered a holiday song. It's the first line is home for the holidays, and I think it represents what I was talking about, which is just the idea that so many people can't find that welcoming right now. We've got to find it virtually. We can't all swing open the door and smell those smells and hug our loved ones and all the things that we hold so dear this time of year. I feel like Celebrate Me Home is, for a lot of people, going to be the song for next year, going to be the song for after all this struggle, that we're going to play that music like we never played it before. And we're going to celebrate the love that we have like we never celebrated it before. And so that's why I love the song.
Yeah, it's a really beautiful version of it. So
thank you so much. Well, Kenny Loggins is incredible and such a nice guy, and I love that song as well, and love all his music.
Is there a favorite Christmas movie? Is there something you've been binging on Netflix that you can let us know about?
Oh man, Yeah, probably. I probably shouldn't mention all the true crime I've been diving into during the holidays. There's no bad time for true crime. Uh, I mean, oh man, Charlie Brown Christmas is a classic. I mean, I will put on the Christmas Story marathon and just let it run. I just let it run. I've also found great solace in just kind of watching the fireplace
Yes.
channel. I forgot. I don't know who does it, but
Yes.
it's there is something right now about needing to put our brains in a vat of hot cocoa right now. And for me, I can't get too complicated with what I'm watching right now. The crime shows, I got to know who done it the first 5 minutes. I'm all about morning cartoons again. And on Christmas, dang it, I want to watch the fireplace. And here's how glued I am to the fireplace. When a hand comes in to change a log, I'm like, it's happening. Guys, get in here.
I've got
Sometimes a
great
cat
news.
will walk across.
I've got great news. I've got great news for you. You know, you don't have to wait for it to be aired on TV. You know what I do sometimes? I go on YouTube and I type in fireplace loop, and people have loaded up fireplace loops and all kinds of loops. And you can just have, if you have people coming over, it's a great backdrop.
Oh man, not only a great backdrop, I bet it's great to go to sleep to. I bet it's a
Yeah.
really good, like, kind of white noise to have in the background.
Right.
So okay, well, thanks. You've put me on a
There, you said.
I probably found some subreddit community that I never knew existed that I'm going to be part of. Hey, you guys, are you guys fireplacers? Cool, me too. How do I get in?
Code word Yule log.
Yeah, right.
Code word. Nobody talks about Yule log. First rule of
That's it.
Yule log.
Josh, so sadly people aren't going to concerts, but you've done a couple of live stream concerts happening. I know you did one like a week ago, Broadway songs, and then I believe Harmony will be in its entirety in a couple of weeks.
Well, we're going to be doing Harmony on Thanksgiving. Yeah.
Right.
So, you know, and then we're going to do my first ever full Christmas concert, which is incredible. We're going to be doing that in December. So yeah, I mean, for all of us in the live business, what we love so much about it, not just the performers, but the crew, everybody who works behind the scenes, this has just been a devastating time. It's been a devastating time for everybody's livelihood. It's been a devastating time for everybody's morale and spirits who just, you know, we all are in this because we love to give back in that way. And we want to make people feel in those seats the way we felt when we were younger. And so it's a little weird to do the live streams, but I got to say, as skeptical as I was in the very beginning of doing them, it's been an incredible thing to see, because even though I don't get to hear the applause after every song, so I have to kind of get over my own awkward silence and self-criticism. And I just have to imagine that people are clapping out there. But then afterwards, I get to find out how many thousands of people tuned in, from how many 84 countries tuned in last time. And in some ways, it's even more incredible, because that awkward silence is something like we're all dealing with, that weird quiet in our heads. And there's something kind of beautiful about the fact that we all get to kind of log in at the same time from wherever we are in the world and share this fun thing. And then I get to see the Twitter comments and the Instagram comments, and I get to see all of, you know, being tagged in this and that, and see all the living rooms of everybody tuning in and watching that I don't get to experience while I'm doing it. And it makes me feel less alone through all this. And I'm so grateful that so many people have wanted to tune in and be a part of that with me, because one way or another, I've got to sing. And it's not perfect, as you said, Covey, but we're doing it in every possible way we can. And we've got an incredible tech company making it sound and look unbelievable. And so it's been really, really saving for me. I've had it just in my soul. I've had an incredible time doing it. I'm so happy people have enjoyed it.
So have you been able to create via Zoom or these kind of meetings, you know, with other musicians, with writers? Has that been helpful to you?
It's been fun. I love having just check-ins with artist friends of mine, just to kind of see what's going on, what they're doing. I would say just, you know, check in with any friend you can. If a friend pops into your head, just cold FaceTime them. Crack open a bottle of beer, or if you're under 21, a nice ice water, and just check in, because you have no idea like how much it means to me when somebody does that. You don't know what people are going through. And so I've found that just kind of like just FaceTiming people out of nowhere and just like shaking each other out of our shells is always great to do. From a music standpoint, it's made me really more kind of self-sufficient. I've always relied on going into big studios and working with writers in the room, and to just have nothing but a piano and GarageBand and my thoughts, I don't have those luxuries. So it's kind of brought me into the 21st century too, to just kind of say, all right, get off your butt. Don't be lazy. If you want to hear a drum sound a certain way, program it, And so I've gotten better at kind of crafting demos and trying to do more of that myself. And the two songs that are on the new album, Your Face and The Fullest, came from those garage bands sitting right where I'm sitting right now. I'm in the corner of my bedroom, and they were both sung in this microphone, and that's the vocal that made the album. And we're doing all that we can, and it's been hard in some ways, but also fun and reassuring in others.
Who was the last person you talked to on the phone?
The last person I talked to on the phone?
Yeah, since we're talking about getting in touch with people, was it today? Are you more of a texter or a phone call or a FaceTimer?
Well, I was a texter. I mean, the thing about all the technologies and how fast communication is going now is that prior to quarantine, I think we all got really like somebody just calling you out of nowhere felt like an invasion. Like,
Yeah.
what are you crazy? You think I got time for this right now? And and then a FaceTime, forget about it. Like what is this person on? And now, I think we all were kind of texters and just kind of, emojiers, at least. And now I just if I get a call or something pops up on my phone, like I will plug in my AirPod, I will put on my sweats and be like, all right, we're catching up now. And I'm enjoying that connectivity now more than ever. When I was walking around New York a few weeks ago, we stopped by a restaurant that was serving outside, and we just kind of started talking to the maitre d' about when are the best hours to come by. And it turned into like a 45-minute conversation of how you doing? How you been? Oh, you're in school. That's cool. What are you studying? And it just was like, my girlfriend and I walked away from it. And we're just like, we just had a 45-minute conversation with the maitre d'. We're all just so hungry for connection. And I think that if there's any silver lining to this tragedy right now, when we come out of this, it's to remember how much we need that in our lives, how much we actually need to kind of shun the idea that everything needs to be quick and abrupt and to the point. No, we need to talk more. We need to connect more. And the fact that we miss it so much right now is a testament, I think, to what's really great about our humanity when we all come out of the other side of this.
I'll cry right now.
But to end your question on a really non-emotional note, my last call today was with my stockbroker. So what are you gonna do?
Oh.
It was a very non-emotional,
It could be up or down, depending on
maybe a few tears. Yeah, let's be honest. But yeah.
Well, Josh, we can't thank you enough for being a part of this. It's just spectacular, and we want to wish you a very happy holiday. And we love you. You despite how huge and popular you are, you're still this down to earth, great guy. And it's people like you I just root for, and we're just so proud of you.
Well, vice versa, my friend. The two of you have been so wonderful, and I appreciate you having me on and having so much fun with me over the years. And happy holidays to you guys. I mean, I hope to anybody listening and watching that they can find a way to find some peace and love. If it can't be with each other, then at least within themselves. And thanks for listening to those that are listening.
Thank you so much, Josh.
Thanks, guys. Happy holidays.
Thank you.
You too.
106.7 FM.